Hello, Top Fan Rivalry family. It's your boy Bill from Top Fan Rivalry. That's right. It's the weekly review. We are live on X. We are live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. Jackson should be here momentarily. He is running a little bit behind, but we're excited to have him here. We will run down the how this all works here in a second, but excited to have everybody on. So whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this on a repeat, we love it. Love having you here. Jackson should be here any second. And so, yep, lots of baseball news going on. The hot stove is hot, hot, hot. I'm just looking on MLB.com right now, and there are so many things that are just interesting. Jackson and I will walk you through it and just see kind of where we get from there. I'm just looking at different players and different who they're meeting with and all of the things, right? So here we go. Jackson is in the house. What's going on, Jackson?
How's it going?
It's going good. Life is good, mi amigos. How's everything on your neck of the woods, or in your neck of the woods, I should say?
Pennsylvania's cold. Very, very cold.
Yeah. This time of year, it's supposed to be that way, isn't it?
It's gotten a little colder a little earlier, so
there you go.
It's been pretty brutal. So,
well, I was just explaining to everybody that the hot stove has gotten hot, and I'm sure we'll take it through here. Jackson, why don't you describe for everybody what we do on this show and how this show works?
Well, it's the weekly review. Bill and I come on here and we ramble on. We get 3 points each. We talk about what's going on in baseball. I give my 2 cents on a point I want to bring up. And we talk about it. And Bill does it. We go back and forth until either we get really tired or we hit 3 each. Sometimes 5, depending on the week.
So Jackson's thing says Top Fan Stats Guy, that's what we call him. But underneath, instead of say the weekly review, I love it. All I want for Christmas is baseball. Does it get any better, ladies and gentlemen?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, too funny. All right, Jackson. So before we get started, we always have to mention our sponsors, right? And so, numero uno, let's mention the boys and girls over there at Ruby's. Jackson, who runs that place?
Well, for those of you that don't know, it's my father, Ned Westfall, over there at Ruby's. So if you're down at Ruby's in Laguna Beach off Pacific Coast Highway, say hi to Ned. Say that you watch Top Fan Rivalry, and Jackson said to go get a milkshake.
Jackson,
but it's not on me. It's on you.
So does Ned run it or does Rachel run it? Let's be honest. All right.
It depends on who's working that day, honestly.
I'm just yeah, exactly. Just depends on who's really working, right?
Yeah.
And so the other individual that we want to mention is Javier Galicia. This guy does a great job. He's a financial guy, and yeah, I love what he does. He can handle anything from life insurance to annuities to rollovers to mutual funds to all of the things. And I love what Javier does. He's a good dude. Really appreciate him for everything that he manages to do. And we thank him for his efforts in Top Fan Rivalry. And so we'll talk more about both Ned and Javier in a bit. But let's get right to it, Jackson. We're 5 minutes into this thing. We need to talk some baseball. What do you got for number one, Jackson? Number one, Jackson says.
We'll talk. We haven't talked in a while, so let's talk about the first big free agent to kind of fall. Dylan Cease is heading to Toronto. What is it? 7 years, $210 million. Honestly, my initial reaction is that's a lot of money. But Toronto gets a guy who goes out. He makes about 30 starts a year. Strikes out a lot of batters. My only worry if I'm Toronto is how inconsistent he can be. Either he's, a Cy Young candidate, or, he's just kind of a middle of the rotation kind of guy. When you're paying somebody $30 million, you don't really want him to be the middle of the rotation kind of guy.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
kind of need
100%.
that Cy Young guy going out every 5 days. But I like the aggressiveness from Toronto. I think it really shores up a rotation. Max Scherzer's leaving, so they're replacing him with another veteran arm to kind of help anchor the young guys they have. But I really like Toronto's rotation. They got guys that make starts, that stay healthy. I think that's really important.
Jackson, it was funny. I've been debating this with some people quite a bit lately, and it's interesting because I like this. I wonder if it's too expensive. Sure, Dylan Cease strikes out a lot of guys, but he gives up a lot of hits and a lot of runs, comparatively speaking. So it'll be interesting to me to see how this plays out for him with this deal in Toronto and what Toronto thinks of this deal.
Honestly, to me, it's comparable to, handing this kind of money to Blake Snell. I think it's a bad idea just because, when you have strikeout stuff, it means your pitches move a lot. When your pitches move a lot, you walk a lot of guys, and it's really great when everyone's chasing the stuff out of the zone. But, if you have a stretch of games, maybe you're tipping or you're giving some stuff away, you're not as crisp. It kind of spirals out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, fan bases don't like guys that go out there and walk the world, even if they only give up 2 or 3 runs at outing, because it's just horrendous to watch. It's not fun baseball when you got traffic every inning and that your starting pitcher's out there laboring to get through 5 innings. So
100%.
But I think Toronto has a good enough coaching staff that they might be able to get the best out of Dylan Cease, judging by how their pitching was in the postseason. But I think for Toronto, it's more of having a guy that can go out there and start every 5 days. They already got Jose Berrios, and now they got Dylan Cease to go out there and do that with Kevin Gossman as well. So there's 3 guys right there that'll give you like 180 innings each. They're just, solid starting pitching. I like the strategy.
I like the strategy too. It's expensive. To me, it's really, really expensive. So, but we'll see. We'll see how it all plays itself out. I mean, this may be something where Toronto says, "Hey, listen, it wasn't just a flash in the pants. We're here to stay. We were only 2 outs away from a World Series championship. We're going after it, everybody. So let's do this, right?" I like it. Jackson, my number 1 is, I'm going to leave you with a softball just in case you don't mention it. Number 1 is something of a shock. Is Schwarber is getting highly touted by not only Cincinnati, which is his home area, and not only Philadelphia, but did you hear that Pittsburgh is big on Kyle Schwarber? Tell me how you think that would fit in.
I think this is the perfect signing for the Pittsburgh Pirates. If you're going to pay a guy, you're going to pay a guy that hits lots of home runs. That'll solidify the middle of your lineup. Because let me tell you, the Pirates pitching isn't that bad. It's pretty good. They need to score. They need to score some runs. The NL Central is pretty much wide open every year because the Cubs always play down to their competition. Milwaukee's shuffling guys around, so they're not a given. Cincinnati's inconsistent. The Cardinals are doing a soft rebuild, it kind of feels like at this point. So if you're Pittsburgh, if you can get enough offense, but behind the pitching that you have, especially with Paul Skeens at the front of that rotation, why not?
Yeah, I would just think what's that?
I was going to say, I think it's a good signing because they can be aggressive. You can overpay Schwarber a little bit because he's probably only going to want like 4 years, 5 years max. And if you're Pittsburgh, that's not going to kneecap you. He's not going to want a long deal because he's already in his mid-30s. It's not, committing 11 years or whatever Kyle Tucker's going to want. It's going to be committing, 4 years of Kyle Schwarber, especially if he wants around what they're offering him, somewhere that 100 to 120 million range. He's a DH. I mean, I think he's going to age pretty well. He's got good bat speed. He can hit the baseball.
He can hit the baseball, and he's only 60 home runs away from 400. What's interesting to me is He didn't win a World Series championship with the Philadelphia Phillies. Do you know that his only World Series championship? Do you know where it's at?
It's in Chicago.
Yeah, his rookie season. His rookie season. So would you, if you're Pittsburgh, would you pay him 20 mil tickets for a 5-year deal? Would you pay him $100 million?
I think they might have to pay more than that. I'm thinking somewhere between 25 and 30 million a year. I just think there's too many teams on the market for like a designated hitter. Boston comes to mind. Baltimore comes to mind. You know, the Phillies are on that list. The Mets are on that list. You know, there's a lot of teams vying for that. And these are teams that are, you know, willing to pay for that lefty bat because they need it. So I think Pittsburgh's probably going to. I heard their initial offer was like 4 years, 100 million. I think that's a good starting offer, but they might need to pay him a little bit more than that.
Okay. Okay. All right. What you got for number 2, Jackson?
Number 2. So you asked me. I don't know if you want me to do my trivia question right now.
Please
Maybe
go
I'll ask
ahead.
my trivia. I'll ask it right now. But do you know who the all-time home run leader for second baseman is, Bill?
I knew this was going to come up. This is a guy who went to Edison High School, which if I had a boo machine right now, I would boo. He played for the San Francisco Giants. Boo. He did play for America's team, the Dodgers. Yay. But I'm going to say it's Jeffrey Kent, who just got elected to the Hall of Fame.
It is Jeff Kent who got elected to the Hall of Fame. You know, Jeff Kent, you know, all-time home run leader for second baseman, 2,400 hits, you know, 855 OPS, 1,500 RBIs is the stat that really sticks out to me. Guy's like a 290 career hitter. Honestly, it took way too long. And Jeff Kent didn't make it past the initial ballot because he was on the ballot with all those steroid guys, and that just kind of threw everything into chaos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who gets in, who gets out. But it's nice that, you know, Jeff Kent's peers got him in. He did win an MVP, too. He also had to deal with Barry Bonds' ego while playing for the Giants. So happy for Jeff Kent. He's probably the best second baseman of all time, offensively. You know, you can definitely make an argument for all-around second baseman, but, you know, just if you're just talking, you know, with the bat in the hands, probably Jeff Kent.
So it was interesting. It's funny that you mentioned this because it was interesting, Jeff Kent, and I don't disagree with this, but I honestly thought that if you had a 1, 2, and 3 ballot, it would probably be Donnie Baseball, who ended with a career 307 average, Dale Murphy, then Jeff Kent. But I can see why it went the way that it went. I mean, I would have thought all 3 of them would have got in, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and don't get me in the Dale Murphy should be in the Hall of Fame train. You know what camp we sit in the Westfall household on that. But I think they got this one right. I do know they vote by era, and I'm not was Dale Murphy on the same ballot as Jeff Kent was?
Yes.
That's weird. I don't like that.
Yeah.
They don't feel like they played at the same time at all.
Yeah, so there's 8 people on there, and it was Jeff Kent, Carlos Delgado, Donnie Baseball, Dale Murphy, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Gary Sheffield, and Fernando Valenzuela.
You want to talk about guys who are fringe Hall of Famers? Carlos Delgado was really good. I'll die on that hill.
So Jeff Kent gets 14 votes. Carlos Delgado gets 9. Donnie Baseball and Dale Murphy got 6 apiece. Bonds, Clemens, Sheffield, and Valenzuela all got under 4. And so according to this, Jeff Kent obviously was elected. That it looks like Bonds, Clemens, Sheffield, and Valenzuela are ineligible for the 2029 Veterans Committee based on poor performance on this ballot, which that is absolutely insane, right? Absolutely insane.
But it doesn't surprise you, though, if you know Clemens and Bonds weren't well liked. They're linked to steroids. Gary Sheffield, also not well liked, kind of a mercenary type player.
Mm-hmm.
So it all checks out, especially, I guess the moral of the story is don't be rude to the people you work with.
Well, and I'm a little surprised that Fernando Valenzuela got under 5 votes. Fernando did a great job based on, bringing an entire nation back to baseball in LA.
Yeah, Fernando Valenzuela is one of those guys where it's like, if you just read the stats, maybe it doesn't make sense. But if you want to talk about, guys who revolutionized baseball, he's definitely up there.
Yeah.
And there's a couple players like that. You look at Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson does have some really great career accolades, but accolades. But if you look at his bulk of his stats, it doesn't. It's not jumping off the page at you. It's just kind of like, oh, he was really solid. But then you realize what Jackie Robinson did for baseball, and it's like, oh, well, duh, that plus that is a no-brainer.
Yeah. What I'm trying to figure out is how many votes did you need to get in? It's not telling me here.
I will figure that out for you, and I'll let you know.
Please,
next week.
Yeah, because it looks like, gosh, it doesn't tell me. Oh well, we'll keep moving on. We'll come back to that. But yes, Jeff King got 14 votes. Congratulations, Jeff. Did it take too long? Probably. But Jeff wasn't always the nicest guy to everybody, so he may have been facing that a little bit too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never met Jeff. Congratulations, Jeff.
Yeah. From my understanding, he also ruffled a lot of people's feathers being real anti-steroid in the steroid era.
Yeah.
But again, it checks out.
I struggle with the Donnie baseball. I mean, the guy has over 2,100 hits and he hit 307 as a career. How does this guy not get in? But I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Well, okay. That's why they have the committees voting. He'll probably get in one day. Let's be real.
Exactly. All right, number 2 on my side. You went Jeff Kent. I'm gonna stay with the hot stove. Pistol Pete is taking meetings everywhere, including but not limited to the Red Sox, and it will be very interesting to see where he lands. His current suitors look like the Red Sox, the Orioles, and or the Mets. Now, he did have sit-downs with the Orioles. He did have sit-downs with the Red Sox. I've never talked to Pete. I don't know Pete. I'm wondering if this is a play for him to come back to the Mets and say, because he's still got 1 year on that deal. Remember, he signed a 2-year deal with an opt-out after year 1. I'm wondering if he's just trying to come back to the Mets for more money. What do you think, Jackson?
It smells like that to me. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think Boston's a really bad fit because if you're the Red Sox, if you wanted a DH, you wouldn't have traded Rafael Devers. It feels like you're going to end up paying Pete Alonso pretty close to what Devers was making, and I think Rafael Devers is a better hitter than Pete Alonso, personally. Clubhouse issues aside, but that was mostly self-inflicted by the Red Sox front office, honestly. So, but I feel like they're going to probably go for that kind of a flexible DH approach, which most teams in the league are going to do if your DH is not Shohei Ohtani or Kyle Schwarber. It really just checks out to be flexible, give guys days off. If guys are banged up, you can put them at DH.
Right. No, I agreed. The only reason that this would make sense is if you can get a healthy Trevor Story over there, and if you can get Pete Alonso over there, it could make a difference offensively. The question is what's going to happen defensively? What's going to happen on the mound? Do they have enough on the mound? I actually like Boston's mound, but do they have enough on the mound? That's the question.
That is a really good question. They got Garrett Crochet, but it kind of feels like they're 1 or 2 arms short. They got a lot of young guys. But
yeah.
And look, I'm gonna say it right now, Bill, because there's been a couple of minor trades this week of former top prospects and some top prospects. Don't hurt your prospects and wait until you need to put them on the 40-man. If you need major league talent, just trade your prospects for major league talent.
Yeah.
Honestly, at the end of the day, if you're not going to promote them right away.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, before Jackson goes into number 3, let's talk about the sponsors again. Let's talk about what's going on the bottom. It says topfanrivalry.com/clubhouse. The clubhouse, you get access to old rivalry talks. You get access to things that we're doing and also articles. Jackson's written articles before. Love to get Jackson. This is free to join. You just go on topfanrivalry.com/clubhouse and you are in. Put the information in there and bada bing, bada boom. Let's talk about our sponsors one more time. Ned over at Ruby's Diner in Laguna Beach. You got to get yourself a shake over there. You got to come up and hang out on the top deck, maybe even watch a movie with Top Fan Rivalry. That's number 1. Number 2, and the second option or the second sponsor we want to mention is Javier Galicia. He is a financial professional, financial advisor. He can handle everything, to my understanding, based on what he's told me, from mutual funds to rollovers to annuities to life insurance, both permanent and term policies. He's got plenty that he has to offer. He's been in the industry for over 10 years. Great guy to work with. I've had great conversations with him. Look forward to seeing if he can help you in your personal financial needs. Okay, Jackson, number 3.
Number 3. Well, I would have. This is going to be a joke for those of you that know. I would have said Zach Gallen to the Cubs, but that's fake.
Fake news.
But we'll talk about the Red Sox again real quick. They did acquire a pitcher. I just remember they acquired Sonny Gray.
They did
in a trade with the Cardinals, who are doing that soft rebuild. And I love Sonny Gray's jab at the Yankees, having pitched in New York and not pitching very well. That he did not want to go back to New York, because there were rumors about that. So I think trades like that are what to watch for here heading into the winners meetings. It's not always going to be flashy. Not every team can sign Kyle Tucker. It's all about these fringe moves that these teams make to make themselves better. Another trade I wanted to highlight is the Angels getting Grayson Rodriguez for Taylor Ward from Baltimore. I kind of like that trade for both sides, because Baltimore, a big right-handed bat. And it gives the Angels kind of a lottery ticket. You don't know what Grayson Rodriguez's elbow and shoulder look like at this point, but even if he's a middle of the rotation starter, that's a big win for the Angels. So trades like this are what make the hot stove fun. Free agent signings, they don't all have to be dumpster diving. Just good value pickups. It is, all I want for Christmas is baseball, and that's what I mean. I just, come on, somebody do something. So, but I imagine we'll see some dominoes start to fall, come Tuesday night. As guys want to get, they want to get that signing bonus before Christmas.
Yeah, 100%, 100%, 100%. It's interesting that you mentioned some of those hot stove trades. I don't know that I love the Taylor Ward over to Baltimore, just because you don't know what you're getting from Grayson Rodriguez. Although I do know that Taylor Ward is a free agent after this next season. I do know that he bought a house in Atlanta. I do know that he's got family members that are trying to encourage him to go to Atlanta. So it may have been the ball game for the Angels. Who knows, right? So I get it. I get why you say that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just from the standpoint, I know he just had a career year, but 36 home runs from a left fielder, solid. A guy that's going to, 800 OPS. Taylor Ward's a solid player. And I think Baltimore,
very solid player.
Trading damaged goods for a rental player is a big win. Anytime you don't have to give up. Hey, that's what Grayson Rodriguez is. You don't know what he's going to be. It's the equivalent of, throwing a 17-year-old prospect out there going, hey, you want this or that? It could backfire spectacularally, or it could just be, Taylor Ward can hit 40 home runs for you. You can be like, sweet.
Yeah. Sweet.
No,
exactly.
I doubt he'll do that in Baltimore, because they moved that wall, all the way up into Pennsylvania, but for no reason.
There you go.
I like it for Baltimore, who lacked a lot of offense last year.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Baltimore is going to be an interesting casting crew here. My number 3 is Framber Valdez. He is a cat who is one of those dudes that may not be the best liked person in baseball right now, based on how he treated his catchers. He might be getting a slice of humble pie. Don't know if he is or not. Whether or not he's getting a slice of humble pie. That's great. But rumor has it that he's looking at the Giants, he's looking at Baltimore, he's looking at the Mets. If I were him, I would sign with any of those three teams. Get yourself out of Houston. Get yourself a fresh start. Do not shake off your catcher. Do not quick pitch your catcher. Do not do a lot of things that you've already done to your catcher. Again, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever team goes out and gets him is going to get a real solid pitcher. You know, over the last 4 years, he has over 760 innings pitched, Bill. That's really good, especially from a guy who, you know, in that time's got a 3.21 ERA. You know, he is a pitch to contact guy. Lots of ground balls. There are some teams out there that, you know, have good defenses that prefer ground ball pitchers. It'll be interesting to see what kind of contract he gets, because Cease just got, you know, $30 million a year. I do think Framber Valdez's consistency is a lot better than Dylan Cease's. So it'll be interesting to see if teams kind of throw anything near that, or, you know, if his, you know, clubhouse issues are going to come back to bite him, that might lower the price tag and you'll get a team of bargain. Because I think, you know, pitch to contact guys tend to age a little better because they don't rely too much on trying to blow guys away at the high heat or anything.
Correct. All right. Do you have, obviously, we talked about Baltimore, we talked about Jeff Kent and Dylan Cease. On your side, I talked about Kyle Schwarbaum considering the Pittsburgh Pirates, Pistol Pete considering Baltimore, and Framber Valdez considering everybody but Houston, and probably LA, the Dodgers, I should say. Any honorable mentions? I've got one very big one, but any honorable mentions?
I know we're not a speculation podcast.
We're not.
But with Devin Williams heading to the Mets, it really makes the Edwin Diaz market really interesting, because it kind of feels like David Stearns up in New York went and got his guy, Devin Williams. You know, Stearns used to work in Milwaukee, and Devin Williams was his guy at the back end of that bullpen. And he's going out and doing it again, and it kind of feels like it's a message to Edwin Diaz that he's maybe expendable at the back end of that bullpen. The Mets could bring him back. Rumor has it, you know, Edwin Diaz still wants another $100 million contract after opting out. It'll be really interesting to see how that market develops, because I don't think there's a lot of teams that are willing to throw $100 million at a reliever in today's baseball.
No, there's not.
It's a very short list of teams.
There's not. And it's interesting because Devin Williams had such a bad season in the Bronx. It'll be interesting to see what he does in Queens. It'll be interesting to see how Edwin Diaz plays this out. Because if I'm the Mets right now, I'd say, Edwin, we'll bring you back, dude, but you're going to be on a 1-year show me contract. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you what you think that you deserve for this season. And then if in fact you perform and you hit certain levels, boom, 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 whatever those levels are, right, then you give us the first right of refusal to re-sign you. Otherwise, test the free agency market, right? But sometimes these guys' egos are bigger than their wallets, and it can get interesting.
I think Diaz kind of blew it. I wouldn't have opted out if I was him. I mean, he's been really good, but he was already at kind of like the top end of what relievers already make. So it just kind of seems it baffles me that he opted out and he's like, give me the same exact contract that I just opted out. Yeah. I just wanted a couple of years. I'm like, you can negotiate an extension, Edwin. That is an option.
100%. I actually love, outside of this, on an honorable mention, I love the fact that the Dodgers brought back Miggy Rowe on a 1-year deal, and Miggy Rowe has already said, I'm going to retire after this season's over. So I actually like this for the Dodgers. I actually like this for Miggy Rowe. This makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. So all right. Top Fan Rivalry followers and supporters, let us run it down for you again. Jackson and I typically on Thursday nights will do a what we call weekly review. We're going to work on trying to get it done this Thursday night. Jackson and I are going to talk offline. We will do a better job at letting you know that it exists. So every week, Jackson and I we'll go through 3 things that have happened and do some honorable mentions. As you can see at the bottom there, topfanrivalry.com/clubhouse. Sign up for that. That's free. Jackson may even have an article in there soon. Who knows? I put a couple articles up there. A gentleman named Lamar has put an article up there, Giants article up there. It's great having fan perspectives in there. And also, we want to mention we can't do this without our corporate sponsors. And we have plenty of them with Top Fan Rivalry. We can't wait to get some more, but we want to thank Ned and his trust and his faith in Top Fan Rivalry as a corporate sponsor over in Laguna Beach. Walk in there, get yourself a meal, get yourself Sunday, right? A shake, and tell Ned that Jackson sent you in. Jackson, don't blame it on me. Tell him Jackson.
Yeah,
right.
Order the root beer freeze and add Oreo to it. It sounds disgusting, but it's delicious.
Root beer freeze, add Oreo to it. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's the secret Jackson milkshake.
That's the secret Jackson sauce, right?
Yeah, I've spun a lot of milkshakes in my day. That's my favorite one. Is it healthy? Absolutely not, but it is delicious.
Okay, so tell it to us again.
So you get root beer freeze. It's just a blended up root beer float, right?
Yeah.
And then you add the Oreo to it. So now your ice cream tastes like root beer, and you got Oreo in it.
Root beer freeze, add an Oreo to it. And I'm going to kind of read this here. So I want to thank Javier Galicia, who's one of our financial professionals, or he's a financial advisor. According to him, he can handle any type of life insurance, whether it's permanent policies or term policies. He can handle mutual funds, annuities, and any types of rollovers that you're looking for. I've talked to Javier. He's a great guy. He does a lot of great things in business. We love and appreciate his respect for Top Fan and what he does. So everybody, if you're looking for a good financial professional, hit up Javier Galicia. He will be on our website. Give him a call, be honest with him, tell him where you're at, and he'll see what he can do to help you out from a personal perspective. So Jackson, did we do okay for tonight's show?
I think so. I think we're going to have a little bit more to talk about later this week. Winter meetings are always, I see all the rumor posts. We're not a rumors podcast, no speculation. There's some speculation that is interesting out there.
1,000%, Jackson. 1,000%. I've seen a lot of the speculation out there, and I'm like,
if we were a speculation podcast, we'd be here all night.
100%.
That's the problem.
It'd be crazy, right? It'd be crazy. So, Jackson, sure do appreciate you being on. Everybody on Top Fan Rivalry family, we appreciate you being on. Hopefully, you enjoy the rewatch of this and/or live. Jackson and I will be back. Typically, we do this on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. I'm sorry, 5 p.m. Pacific, 9 or 8 p.m. Eastern time. But, we'll let you know when we're going to be on. We'll have plenty to talk about and look forward to it. Jackson, I think we're good for tonight, don't you?
I think so. Thanks for watching.
All right, everybody.
Good night.
Everybody enjoy your night. We will talk to you guys soon.